I did want to ask you all if you heard about the ad in Florida that's being censored. Have any of you heard about this? It's kind of crazy.
Oh yes, that's a yes.
Yeah, I have the article pulled up. A lot of people haven't seen this yet, but this, I think, once and for all, should close the case on whether or not the right supports free speech. So, Florida threatens to criminally charge TV stations airing abortion rights ad. I have the ad pulled up. I'll show you all in a minute, but let me just read a couple of paragraphs here. So, at least 2 stations received cease and desist letters Thursday, written by John Wilson, general counsel from the Florida Department of Health, demanding they pull the advertisement. Management for WCJB in Gainesville and WFLA in Tampa were not immediately available for comment Wednesday. Now, for those who don't know, there is an abortion initiative on the ballot in Florida. It needs 60% to pass. And there was an ad from a pro-choice group that the government of Florida is threatening to sue if they don't pull down this ad. Wilson wrote that running the 30-second ad spot was a violation of Florida's sanitary nuisance law, so that's the bullshit excuse, which is commonly used to charge people with overflowing septic tanks or unclean slaughterhouses. He ordered the stations to remove the ads within 24 hours or open themselves up to a second-degree misdemeanor charge, which in Florida carries a sentence of imprisonment up to 60 days and a fine of $500. So Florida has devolved into a mini authoritarian regime. These are this is the kind of stuff that they do in authoritarian countries where, like, for example, homosexuality won't be illegal, but they'll still charge people who they catch being homosexuals and charge them under anti-debauchery clauses. So they're finding some random law to charge them with to shut down their free speech. Let me pull up the ad now, because the ad itself is no different than any pro-choice ad at all, but it's a powerful ad, which is understandable why they don't want it to get seen. But just watch the ad and then you can understand how serious this is.
When I saw the tumor on the MRI, my first thought was, am I going to be able to see my daughter again? The doctors knew if I did not end my pregnancy, I would lose my baby, I would lose my life, and my daughter would lose her mom. Florida has now banned abortion, even in cases like mine. Amendment 4 is going to protect women like me. We have to vote yes.
And that's the ad.
That's it? I was expecting like there to be like some kind of like visual that was like gross or something.
Yeah,
like
that was
like
going over the line or
right
there. That was just an experience
pretty
that
standard.
She had.
And the reason why they're saying it violates the the sanitation clause or whatever is because it's misinformation. Because in Florida they do have exceptions. So this ad is giving women this false idea that they have to travel out of state to get abortion health care when they already have exceptions, and that could endanger their lives. So they care about the women. But putting aside the obvious disingenuous bullshit, the FCC even had to come out, Jessica Rosenworcel, so this is Biden's FCC chair, not chair, the commissioner, and said, this is straight up a free speech issue. You can't do this. So whether or not this stands, I'm not really sure. But the problem is that, can this be adjudicated before the election? And they're trying to literally censor speech that they don't like. This is the most cut and dry free speech issue that we've seen since anti-BDS laws. And nobody's really even aware that it's happening because there's so much shit going on. But it's genuinely alarming to see this.
It's true. This election's built different. There's so many stories.
It is. It is. And this is straight out of the Hungarian fascist playbook. Ron DeSantis has been copying Viktor Orban, and a lot of people thought that he was a worse version of Donald Trump, but he's actually an iteration of Viktor Orban. He's his own American Orbanism, his own type of fascist, which is, I think, a lot more nefarious. But he's not even trying to pretend as if he cares about freedom of speech. He is actually censoring ads that he doesn't want to be played, which is, it should scare everybody, but we're all still pretending, and not us, but as a country, we're pretending as if Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they're the true warriors of free speech. And it's so infuriating because all the big free speech people, Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, not a peep about this. It's crazy.
Or Ken Klippenstein. Yeah, no one talks about Ken Klippenstein.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's just the thing that
Thanos
happened.
snapped out of existence on Twitter, and
No, the way you said it is funny. No one talks about getting.
No one talks about it.
And also for a second, I know what Mike's talking about, but if you don't know what's going on, like what's up with like Hungary, it does sound like someone's like pulling something right out of their ass, saying like, "Yeah, right out of the Hungarian playbook."
Well, to allow, that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up because it does require clarification, because I want to explain what the Hungarian playbook is. So it started with LGBTQ people. He went after queer people. There was an anti-gay propaganda law similar to the law that we see in Russia, although Russia's is much more comprehensive as far as I know. But that's what he started to do. He started to go after the media by talking about LGBTQ propaganda. That's exactly what Ron DeSantis tried to do, albeit at a different level. He did the Don't Say Gay law in schools. And then from there, Viktor Orban began to consolidate power in other ways. He made the media afraid. He made people who were critical of him afraid. And that's exactly what Ron DeSantis is doing. That's not a very nuanced thing. It's just surface level. But if you look up, there's an article, I think somebody, either the Washington Post or the Atlantic, wrote about how Ron DeSantis is an extension of Orbanism, where he's not like Trump. He's his own version of Viktor Orban. I talked about the article in my program a long time ago. If you want to look that up, it's really enlightening and also horrifying. But yeah, it's not good. The fact that Republicans are now threatening censorship willy-nilly, not that they weren't already pro-censorship, but the way that they're just so flippantly doing it. And it's not surprising because Donald Trump is talking about deporting anti-Israel protesters. He's also talking about throwing people in jail if they burn the flag, which is our right. I mean, even Justice Scalia said we can do that because it's quite literally free speech. So the fact that it's come so far, and he's brazenly doing this, even though it's a bad look before an election, he doesn't give a shit.